Democratic Congressman from Virginia, Eugene Vindman. Congressman's a Ukrainian American and a retired U.S. Army colonel. It's good to see you, Congressman. Thank you for coming in. The third anniversary of this war. Zelensky's thinking this year will be the year of a lasting peace. How confident are you that will be the case?
Kate, great to be here this morning. But look, I'm not particularly confident right now. All of the pressure seems to be on the Ukrainian leadership, the Ukrainian government. This administration has pretty much given away the farm, granting, it seems like at the outset, territorial concessions, stating that Ukraine will not be a member of NATO, putting all the pressure on Ukraine and taking all the pressure off of Russia. And I will say it's shameful that on this third anniversary, going to the fourth year of this major invasion, 11 years of war, that we do not have a senior representative from the United States there showing solidarity and support. I talk about a hard pivot towards autocracy and away from our own values. After years of weakness from the Biden administration, now we've done a hard pivot towards autocracy, and it's shameful.
I want to ask you about that. Well, the kind of wild escalation of tension between Ukrainian President Zelensky and Donald Trump that we really saw play out in the last week. Just yesterday, Zelensky was asked about his relationship with Donald Trump by our Nick Payton Walsh. Let me play how he responded.
The president?
My relationship with President Trump? It's never was in such best way.
There's a lot going on in those silent moments. I mean, things are not good there. And as someone who cares deeply about the future of Ukraine, how do you think Zelensky should be approaching his relationship with Donald Trump at this point?
Well, look, I think I approach this issue as deep concern about U.S. national security as it relates to Ukraine. And I've been talking about this for years. It is squarely in U.S. national security interest to support Ukraine, to have a strong transatlantic alliance and to stand up against autocrats. What we've seen since this invasion is a violation of a rules-based order that the U.S. helped to establish. That might does not make right, and that larger neighbors can't attack smaller neighbors, and that's a lesson that's going to be very well received in places like China with the Chinese Communist Party and other autocrats. So this is squarely a U.S. national security issue, and as it relates to Zelensky, I mean, talk about an understatement. The relationship certainly was strained after the events of the first impeachment, where the president tried to extort Ukraine into investigating his political rival, and it hasn't gotten any better. I think that President Zelensky is exactly right. I mean, if he's willing to sacrifice his leadership in exchange for peace, and I have no doubt that he will do that if there is a path to it.
You talk about U.S. national security. I want to ask you about that because you sent a letter to the president, you just did, protesting the firings of the military's senior leadership. You called it reckless, damaging to the nation's readiness and national security, and also you wrote that it could cost American lives. The defense secretary spoke out yesterday, though, and says there's nothing unusual here with this. Let me play this.
Nothing about this is unprecedented. The president deserves to pick his key national security and military advisory team. There are lots of presidents who've made changes, from FDR to Eisenhower to H.W. Bush to Barack Obama, who fired or dismissed hundreds of militaries during his term.
Congressman, what is your reaction to that?
Look, it's utter nonsense. My letter was not, a plea for answers. It was a demand for answers. We in Congress have a role, an oversight role, and I'm asking pointed questions about why he's made the changes, what his criteria are for replacements. It is certainly unprecedented and unacceptable. Just because the president and the administration can do something doesn't mean they should do something. It's, we had an expression in the JAG Corps, lawful but awful. Why is he changing several senior four-star generals and admirals, including the chairman? Why is he changing or eliminating 3 service judge advocates? Is it because he wants to install yes men folks that won't challenge his unlawful, potentially, actions. We need answers. The American people deserve answers, and we in Congress are going to demand that we receive those answers.
We'll continue to follow that. Congressman, thank you very much for your time.